Guys, I want you guys to take a look at this baby's face right here. Such a small baby, such an innocent baby with a beautiful smile and awesome eyes. This kid deserved an opportunity to grow up and be something great, but unfortunately his life was cut down. So what I want you guys to do is listen to his story. In Milwaukee, a 21-year-old Milwaukee man is facing charges in connection to the death of a 1-year-old child, which you see that 1-year-old child right there with his mom. That little boy's name is Alonzo Lamar Jr. He was only 1 year old. He was 30 days past his first birthday, so he was 13 months old, also known as AJ. The accused man of killing that little boy, that disgusting person right there on my screen, his name, his designation is James Johnson. He is 21 years old. Johnson is facing the following charges: first-degree reckless homicide, neglecting a child, consequence is death. Number 3, 2 counts of physical abuse of a child, intentional causation of bodily harm. Now, according to a criminal complaint, Milwaukee police were called to the area of 25th Street and Atkinson Avenue Wednesday night on January the 1st in response to that little baby, Alonzo Lamar Jr., who's 1 year old, 13 months old, was unresponsive with significant bruising to the face. And how many times have I told you guys, when babies have bruising on their neck, behind their ears, and their face and things like that, that's usually a very, very strong sign of abuse. Now, upon arrival, police found members of the Milwaukee Fire Department performing life-saving measures on the little boy, but he succumbed to his injuries and he's dead. He's posthumous now. He was pronounced dead at that moment. The 13-month-old boy grandmother, her name is Octavia Gallion, told the news that she found the boy. Octavia Gallion said that the boy appeared that he had been beaten. We found him and he was laying on the bed and his face was swollen with his mouth open, she said. He said that my grandbaby fell. It don't look like he fell. It looked like he beat him. So apparently she had a conversation with this boyfriend. Again, his name is James Johnson, a 21-year-old. Okay. Now, Adriana Martin, who is the biological mother. Let me see if I can get her face on the screen so y'all can see the biological mom. Right there. That's Adriana Martin, the baby's mother, told police she left her son, that 1-year-old little boy, Alonzo Lamar Jr., in the care of her boyfriend on New Year's Day while she went to work. Take a pin in that. We'll come back to it. While at work, Martin said she received a call from her boyfriend, James Johnson, saying that something was wrong. Martin said she rushed home to find her son lifeless and covered with bruises. According to the complaint, officials said that the child appeared to have had human bite marks on his left arm, his back, and leg. Officials also observed multiple bruises and abrasions to the face and head, along with lacerations to the inner cheek on the inside. An autopsy concluded that the child died as a result of blunt force trauma, and the death was ruled a homicide. What could that little baby have done that was so horribly bad that he needed to be beat up like that? Somebody please tell me, what is a good excuse for you to beat up a little bitty innocent baby like that? Is there any excuse? In my opinion, there's never any excuse to put your hands, feet, or other objects on anybody. That's why I said, stop spanking children, stop hitting children, stop being physical with children. If you feel the need to beat children, then you're probably not a suitable parent. Based on an accidental fall explanation, which is really neat that they did this. What they did was detectives went in and figured out that this man was lying. So let me tell you exactly what happened. According to the complaint, James Johnson claimed that the child fell off the bed in the basement. Let me read it again. James Johnson claimed the child fell off the bed in the basement face first onto the floor. Based on an accidental fall explanation Johnson provided to the mother, detectives measured the distance between the top of the mattress to the floor. That distance measured 1 foot 4 inches. 1 foot and 4 inches. What does that tell you? That means that this bed was laying on the floor. That means it was a mattress on the floor. Thank you. You caught it. The bed was on the floor. And it's not high enough to kill a baby. Yes. The bed mattress was on the floor. No bed frame at all. You know how fucking disgusting that is? That means that the fall would have been a very minor fall, according to the complaint, like you guys said. During the interview with detectives, the boyfriend, James Johnson, admitted to biting the child. He also admitted to hitting him multiple times in the head with an open hand and punching him in the leg with a closed fist because the child would not stop crying, and he cried nonstop for over an hour, according to the complaint. Again, I might not be the brightest crayon in the box, but I'm just wondering, maybe black people really believe that if something is crying, the best way to make it stop crying is to smack the shit out of it. Is that the way that it works? I could be wrong. I know I've heard parents say, shut up before I give you something to cry about, right? Have y'all not heard that? They'll have, no you didn't. They'll have $300 for a weave, but a $40 bed frame, and some of them don't even have a bed frame. Isn't that something? That's very true, though. Where are our priorities at? They'll buy a $300 weave, but won't buy a $300 life insurance plan for their children. Guarantee you she didn't have life insurance. Think about that for a moment. Parents, back in the day, I'm not going to point no fingers at no parents, but parents would sit there and beat you and watch you cry and then tell you, shut up before I give you something to really cry about. How many of y'all have heard that? Not just in the black community. Some of y'all have heard that outside in other communities. Some of y'all have heard that before. So instead of him trying to figure out what's wrong with this 1-year-old baby, he decided to bite him. He decided to punch him. He decided to hit him with an open hand, probably kicked him, probably threw him. Yes, what an excellent way. What an excellent way to calm a child down and encourage a child to stop crying, apparently. He said, I tried CPR. I tried everything. I knew from the way that the bruises looked on his face, I knew from all that none of this made any sense. That's according to the mom, if I'm not mistaken. AJ was just so happy. He was the happiest baby anybody could meet, said Selena Cole, who was Alonzo's godmother. The aunt of the baby, Alonzo Lamar Jr., known as AJ, created a GoFundMe. So the aunt created a GoFundMe to help with funeral costs. Of course, because apparently we don't believe in having life insurance. She said her daughter, the boy's mother, is completely heartbroken. But let me ask y'all this. This baby is 13 months old. I have a little bit of a tidbit of information that the news did not tell you. There's a little bit something extra in this story. There's a secret ingredient in this story. Why did he bite the baby? That's a great question. I don't know. There's something extra about this mom. Keep in mind, the baby that she's holding is only 13 months old, and she already had a new boyfriend living in her house. Shout out to my brother Tommy, who talks about these females who are constantly on raw dick after raw dick after raw dick after raw dick. It's true. That's why we have a very high STD rate. Very high STD rate. Miss June Bennett got it. She's currently pregnant. She's completely heartbroken over her dead 13-month-old baby. Not 13 years. 13 months old. And she's already pregnant. So she's keeping her head straight for her unborn child while her boyfriend is due back in court. He already went to court on the 14th, but he's got more court dates coming up here. So yes, Jesus Christ. Oh. Let's go ahead and give the fair usage and let me show you guys what was in the news. Let's go ahead and get it. Click that thumbs up. Let's go. Federal law allows citizens to reproduce, distribute, or exhibit portions of copyrighted motion pictures, videotapes, or video discs under certain circumstances without the authorization of the copyright holder. This is called fair use. It is allowed for purposes of criticism, news reporting, teaching, and parody, which doesn't infringe of copyright under 17 U.S.C. 107.
Milwaukee's first homicide victim of 2020 is just 13 months old.
I'm numb. I'm trying to understand it.
Tonight, the family is trying to piece together how the little boy was killed. That is our big story at 9. A large turnout tonight in Milwaukee for a vigil held for a 13-month-old boy investigators say was killed New Year's Day.
Family members are now sharing more about what they say happened on that day. Fox 6's Hannah Jewell joins us live at Milwaukee Police District 5 with what was a very emotional night.
Yeah, I spoke to the mother of this victim. She is in shock, to say the least. She says the suspect is her now ex-boyfriend, who is not the father of this child, and she believes he beat her son to death.
You know the pain, God. You know the hurt, God. You know the numbness, God.
I just want to be with my baby.
A mother missing her son.
Why my child? Why my 1-year-old? Why everything I have? He was all I had left.
Andriana Martin says she left her 13-month-old son, Alonzo Lamar Jr., in the care of her boyfriend New Year's Day while she went to work, never imagining she would get a call from the man saying something was wrong. She says she rushed home to find her boy lifeless and covered in bruises.
I tried CPR. I tried everything. I knew from the way the bruises looked it on his face. I knew from all that, like, nothing made sense.
Milwaukee police responded to the home at 25th and Atkinson and ruled the death as suspicious. They say the suspect is in custody.
He was joyful. He was happy. He was everything a mother could have wanted. He was everything. And you took my baby from me for what?
Family and friends gathered to remember the boy they called AJ and to comfort the child's mother and father, also in attendance.
There's no reason I should be burying my 1-year-old. There was no reason. There's nothing he could have did to you to make you do just this to him.
The grief, unbearable.
I feel like my heart been ripped out my chest, and I would never be the same ever again.
Milwaukee police are not sharing any further details about this investigation at this time. If you would like to donate to the funeral fund for this little boy, we have a link posted at our website, fox6now.com. Reporting live from Milwaukee Police District 5, Hannah Jewell, Fox 6 News.
Just horrible. Hannah, thank you.
Said the little boy fell off a bed. Police didn't buy it. So a 21-year-old Milwaukee man is now behind bars, charged in the death of a 1-year-old boy on New Year's Day. Casey Cronus joining us live with the heinous details being uncovered in newly released court documents. Casey?
Yeah, Ted, it is really sickening to hear these details. Police say James Johnson was the only person watching that child when he died, admitting to detectives to striking, biting, and punching that little boy, all because he says the child wouldn't stop crying.
I just thank you for people that comes together at a time like this.
Finding comfort in prayer, loved ones of Alonzo Lamar Jr. gather outside the home where his young life was cut short.
We know that the baby is in heaven, God.
Just 1 year old, his godmother, Selena, says AJ was a bright light.
AJ was just so happy. He was the happiest baby anybody could ever meet.
On New Year's Day, prosecutors say the child's mother, Andriana Martin, who provided this photo, went to work. Her boyfriend, 21-year-old James Johnson, was left to look after her child. But when she returned later that day, her son was lifeless and covered in bruises.
It's sick. It's sad. No baby deserves this. No baby at all.
Police say Johnson initially told Martin and investigators that AJ fell off the bed in the basement, a story that didn't explain the blunt force trauma that killed the child. Johnson later admitting that AJ wouldn't stop crying. Becoming frustrated, Johnson told detectives he bit the child, struck him multiple times in the head with an open hand, and punched him in the leg with a closed fist.
I could barely be in this house. Could barely sleep. It's a lot on the family.
A family coming together in heartbreak.
And we ask your hand of mercy to stretch out on them. And you strengthen them right now in the mighty name of Jesus.
Johnson has been charged with 4 felonies in connection to AJ's death, including first-degree reckless homicide. He is due back in court for his preliminary hearing next week. Reporting live from MPD District 5, Casey Cronus, Fox 6 News.
Casey, thank you for that.
You say you can't find a good man and a man that don't cheat and a man that's going to treat you right and want to marry you. So just consider all of them to not be shit. Treat them as such. You know why? Because if you don't believe that they're anything, then that's going to give them something to live up to. You're going to set the bar so high that they're going to have to jump really, really high to try to reach that bar. Meaning you're going to up the level that these men are going to have to live up to, which is a good thing. Allow them to rise up to an acceptable standard. Have some standards. That's one of the most important things that women can do, is have a set of standards that men have to achieve, and understand that that comes from self-value, right? Where's my brother relationship rehab at? I know he hear me. You have to have some self-value. The women have to have enough value in themselves and understand that they are worth more than a thug. The thugs have to understand that if you put a father in these kids' lives from early on, you give them a much better chance to see a father figure in an image of what they should grow up into being. Then they will have some self-value, and then they will treat everybody else outside with value. It's a two-way street, and we all have to be held accountable. Men have to be held accountable, and so do the women. Here's where I want to close out, though. Here's where I want to close out. All jokes aside, I'm going to let you guys go, but here, let me close you out with this. The lack of insurance is absolutely ridiculous at this point. It's cheaper than ever. Let me tell you guys something. Buying stocks is very, very easy. And I wish I could shout this woman's name out, but I don't give people shout outs on my channel like that. But if y'all know who I'm talking about, then I admire her for talking about people getting into the stock market. And I actually did. I did this year, actually. But you have to get insurance, which I have insurance on myself. My parents have insurance. My kid has insurance. Life insurance. It's cheap enough to get. It would even make sense that if you're going to ask for a GoFundMe, do it preemptively. Don't wait until your kid is dead and then ask for GoFundMe money. Start making the investment now. Take that $50 billion a year that we're spending on hair weave to look good like this so we can be on fleek, and our eyebrows can be on fleek, and our nails can be on fleek, and toes be on fleek, and we can be in the club popping bottles and be in VIP and go and see Megan Thee Stallion in concert, and going to go see Future in concert, and going to see Lizzo in concert. Jesus Christ. For all of the things that we go do to live hood fabulous, instead of putting rims on cars and speaker systems and all of this immaculate stuff that we really can't afford, red bottoms and Louis Vuitton and all of this bullshit, right? And take what the black community already has. We don't need money from anybody. We are the highest consumers in the nation. Take the money that we already have and invest it in our children. Stop for a moment. Stop spending money frivolously, which is why it's good to have balance. It's good to have that balance because women spend too much, men don't spend enough. Put those two together and what do you have? Balance. Very nice how that works. Balance. Hashtag our kids matter. Point number 2. The biological father, I think it's weird how he was there and they didn't interview him. Don't y'all think that's weird? Let me throw that out there one more time. They have the biological father and named him on camera and said, there's the biological father. They didn't have one man do an interview and they didn't even bother to hear from the biological father. You cannot tell me that he didn't have some thoughts or some feelings about his baby mom who went and put his son around a thug that ultimately killed him. That's one to grow on right there. You heard me? Let's move on to the next point. Having kids in the hood while broke and depending on help from everybody else. Did y'all see that dilapidated house that she lives in? That looks like it was pieced a part of an old house and then took another piece of an old house and just mashed a bunch of old broken down pieces from other houses and just stuck it and glued it onto that one and nailed it together. That's what that house looks like. So if you know that you are broke, if you know that you are downtrodden and disenfranchised, let me say those words again. If you know that you are downtrodden and disenfranchised, then why would you continue to produce children and put those children in these positions where you know that there is a high rate of failure? So what's the best thing to do? Until you get your shit together, stop bringing more kids into the hood. This woman, I don't know how old the mom is, but the mom, Adriana Martin, is getting ready to bring another kid into this world when her son was only 13 months old. Jesus Christ. Immediately got pregnant right after you had the first one, and you're right back with the next dude making another baby. That's ridiculous. My next point. Putting your child in harm's way with a random man or boyfriend. I think that speaks for itself. You gambled on a thug and you lost. Can we get that hashtag in the chat? Hashtag gambled on a thug. Gambled on a thug. That's our new hashtag. You gambled on a thug, ma'am, and you lost. Apparently your child was not worth taking care of and being in your life because you just gave him away to the first nigga that you decided that you liked. These mothers have zero requirements for having a man around their children. They end up raping them. They end up beating them. They end up dropping them. They end up burning them. They end up shooting them. They end up stabbing them. They end up kidnapping them. They end up doing like Malia Davis and putting them in garbage bags, driving them across state lines and throwing them off the side of the highway where they know that those people are going to have to cut that grass. And then the man that comes and cuts the grass comes in and chops up what he thought was just a garbage bag, ran it over, and scattered dead human body parts all over the freaking side of the road. Raise the bar and make men acquiesce to standards. She was already pregnant and her son Alonzo was only 13 months old. That is just fucking nasty. You want to know why it's nasty? Because the STD rates are extremely high in the black community. That's not a plot from the white man to take out the black community. No, we know that these diseases are already out there from wherever they came from. But we cannot participate in continuing to share and spread these diseases between each other by being irresponsible when we know all we have to do is either abstain or protect, which she did neither of the two because she had at least sex with 2 to 3 men fucking her raw within a small time frame. That's a fact. Last but not least, there were no men around for guidance and accountability. No men around for guidance and accountability. No men around for accountability and guidance. Notice that from the interviews. Notice that from how many women came out and said that they got a shit ton of kids and no men. And notice that from all of these children that continue to keep getting killed by mom's boyfriend. All right? That's all I have to say about this story. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. We're the AFC. When we do advocate for children first, all I can say is to this little baby, this little boy who deserved much, much better from his mother and everybody else around him. His name was Alonzo M. Lamar Jr. He was only 13 months old, and he didn't have any idea just how bad he had it and just how bad of parents that he had, okay? He deserved better. Rest in peace. And I hope that these people just reflect on the memories of him at the visual, okay? Even though it's a vigil. This is your boy DJ Just Jay. We're the AFC, where we advocate for children first. From my heart to yours. I love you guys. Have a great night. Peace.